Spain may not have oil resources, but one thing it doesn't lack is sunshine, and it's actively making the most of it. This factory near Fustinana in southern Nevada produces supports for solar panels that move according to the position of the sun. The plant provides much needed work in a region where jobs are scarce.
The OPDE group created 350 jobs last year, different types of posts, mechanics, engineers and electricity experts. These jobs didn't exist 4 years ago.
With no coal, oil or gas of its own, Nevada made a switch from polluting fossil fuels to renewable energy in the late 1980s. The move has paid off. Today, almost 3/4 of the region's electricity comes from renewables, a bonus for the environment and the local economy. There are now more than 100 renewable energy companies in the region, employing 6,000 people. Despite the global downturn, the European Union's environmental goods and services sector is buoyant. And European firms are global leaders in recycling, wind and solar energy, and the production of cleaner cars, buses and trains. This is the Pamplona headquarters of Acciona Energy, one of the world's biggest renewable power producers. From this control room, operators can switch on more than 200 wind parks across the globe. The company also runs solar and biomass plants in over a dozen countries.
Our company has grown very significantly over the last 3 years, during which time we tripled our workforce. This illustrates the job-creating potential of new energy technologies such as clean energy.
Up to 1 in 10 jobs in the European Union is already linked to the environment, and that's expected to soar. This as the bloc strives to meet its goals of cutting greenhouse gas emissions by a fifth by 2020 and producing 20% of its energy from renewable sources. Now accounting for almost half of new electricity generating capacity in the bloc, Europe's wind energy industry alone has created 60,000 new jobs in the past 5 years. At the National Centre for Training in Renewables outside Pamplona, students and professionals are preparing for employment in the renewable sector. The EU is helping to finance retraining programs. Another key to maintaining Europe's leadership in green technologies is research and development. At this centre, more than 200 scientists are working on the next generation of renewable technologies. The EU has earmarked over €100 billion for investment in the green economy over the next 4 years. Europe is on the cusp of a green revolution that could have profound effects on the labour market. As the EU moves to a low-carbon economy, there are expected to be winners but also losers in old, polluting industries. Unions are warning about the risks of restructuring.
Workforces must be managed taking the future into account, and there needs to be training. We will need to plan the different phases required to transform the workforce, otherwise men and women will strongly react.
One town hit hard by industrial restructuring was Ollerton near Nottingham in the UK. Up until 1994, 600 workers were employed in the local coal mines. Then, overnight, all the workers were laid off. One of them is now the managing director of the Sherwood Energy Village.
Shutting of the colliery was devastating for any mining community. It was the main industry that the male workforce went to. And particularly in the case of Ollerton, it was virtually overnight. There was no running, no lead into it. It was devastating, and a lot of mining communities went down onto the knees and never recovered.
Instead of allowing the community to die like so many coal and steel areas in Europe, the miners of this town banded together. At a time when the green agenda was still in its infancy, Crawford and his fellow miners decided to focus on sustainable development.
What the community actually felt was if we couldn't have the mine, we didn't want the dirt. We didn't want to be a dirty town. And it started by saying, well, if we can't have the mine, let's be clean. And then it started, the sort of mindset moved on to, well, if it's clean, it could be green. And it went on that way. A lot of people thought we were idiots. A lot of people thought, why are you talking about energy efficiency and sustainability? Just burn coal.
With the help of EU funding, the land has been completely reclaimed. Slag heaps have been turned into nature trails, and low-carbon offices have been fitted with ground-source heat pumps. Going green has paid off for Ollerton. 1,200 jobs have already been created on the site of the former mine, double the number lost in the 1990s. The town now has a much more sustainable economy, based on tourism, leisure services and environmental technologies. Some of the workers are former miners who've undergone retraining. Another company in the Sherwood Energy Village is Ground Source Solutions. The firm employs 35 local workers and 750 worldwide. It installs pumps that extract clean energy from the earth to heat buildings.
Originally the site was a colliery, and the reason for the site being here was to extract coal from the earth, taking energy from the earth. And in many ways we've come full circle. We've brought an industry here that again extracts energy from the earth. So it's a nice synergy with the site.
More than 100 homes in Ollerton are now being built to the same strict environmental standards as the offices in the award-winning village. The construction sector has perhaps the greatest potential for creating new jobs, which will also help reduce energy bills and greenhouse gas emissions. The British government estimates 400,000 new jobs could be created in the environmental sector in coming years. Many of these will be in fitting homes with insulation and double glazing. Sherwood Energy Village is now seen as a role model. It's advising the Romanian government on how to manage its mine closure programme, and is likely to have a lot more work in the years to come as Europe makes the switch to a low-carbon economy.
I'm really proud to have been a small part in keeping this town alive and creating jobs to do that. I was from the mining industry, and it was demoralising to see that industry collapse. We as a community have decided to embrace the green agenda and sustainable development. We have to move on. People have to do that.